Now we're going to look at how we can add even more content to our project and scenes by using the Unity Asset Store. The Asset Store is an integrated marketplace that is included inside the Unity editor. It's a complete online library and shop of additional content, including characters, props, models, textures, animations, all kinds of goodies and stuff that we can simply download and use. Now, some of that content is completely free, meaning that we can download it at no cost and integrate that into our projects. And some of the content is commercial, meaning that we have to pay a fee for that content to include it in our projects. In this movie, I'm going to be looking at some free content that we can download and start using right away. The first thing that we need to do, however, is to access the Asset Store from the Unity user interface. To access the Asset Store, you may already have a tab up here next to the Game tab called the Asset Store. That's one way to access the Asset Store, but you might not have that tab visible. Another way to access the Asset Store is simply by choosing Window and then selecting Asset Store. It's associated with the keyboard shortcut Control-9 on a PC and Command-9 on a Mac. If I select the option Asset Store, this will display the Asset Store window, and straight away I'm browsing and seeing some of the content that is available. I can simply scroll down to start having a look at content from the Asset Store, the most popular content. Sometimes this will have a price associated and sometimes not. And really the type of content that is included in the Asset Store really spans all kinds of mediums, from animation to textures to models, all sorts of stuff. Now we can also search for particular items of content. For example, if I wanted to include a car object in my game, I could search for car and then click search to search for a car object. I can then specify, do I want to see the assets that we have to pay for? Do I want to see the assets that are free only? For example, if I specify free only, I can then scroll down to see some content that is available completely free of charge that matches my search criteria. So again, here, for example, is an example of a car asset that we could download and use right away. I'm actually going to search now for something completely different. I'm going to search for Kyle Robot and press search and make sure that we're viewing only the free assets, and then scroll down. You can see that under this section here, under this filter, there is only one asset that has been found. It's completely free of charge. It's also provided by Unity Technologies, and if I click on the Space Kyle Robot, that provides more information about the robot asset. I can see the cost of the asset. In this case, it's completely free. It has 853 user reviews, and that is their average rating. And I can scroll down to view more information about the file. For example, I can see the download size of the file. I can see when it was originally released. I can see the latest version it's currently supported with, and I can see more information about the package, what it includes. It includes a material, it includes a robot mesh and some textures, and if I go down even further, we get all kinds of other recommendations and reviews. So I'm going to go ahead and download this asset. The button here may say download or import, depending on whether you've previously downloaded this asset before. If this is the first time that you're downloading the asset, this button will initially say download. In this case, I've previously downloaded this asset, so I'm simply going to choose the import button. And when I do that, Unity displays the import package dialog that we've seen before, where I can select the different assets that I want to import into the project. I'm going to leave these all at their defaults and then simply select the import button here. So I'm simply going to choose import, and that will import the asset into the project, and that is all we need to do. If I go back to the Scene tab, you can see down here inside the project panel, there is now a folder called Robot Kyle. Now, depending on the asset that you're downloading, they will be installed into different places inside the project panel, and you cannot always know in advance where exactly inside the project panel the asset will be installed. In this case, it's really easy to find because the project panel is pretty much empty and it's created a Robot Kyle folder. I'm just going to double click on that folder and it will display the assets that have been imported. I'm going to double click on the model folder and then simply left click to select the Robot Kyle model, and from the object inspector I can use the preview panel to click and drag to scroll around the robot asset that I have imported. To add that to the scene, all I have to do is simply drag and drop the robot model into the scene and release my mouse, and straight away inside the hierarchy panel you can see here that the Robot Kyle has been imported. So that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to grab this Kyle model. I might rotate him around just a little bit to kind of face in the direction of the sun here. So that's looking pretty nice. I might grab that model, and in this case he's going to be like a statue, so I'm just going to select that model and then move over here to activate the static checkbox. It then asks me, do I want to change the flags to all the children objects, and we'll see what that means later. I'm going to say yes, change the children, and then all of these objects are changed. I might in fact duplicate the model with Command D, so I'm going to select the model, Command D, and then just move that off to one side. Command D again, so we get another duplicate, Command D, and just create a few robot duplicates, which I can see in the level. And very quickly, in practically no time at all, I've imported a robot mesh, added that to the scene, and already I have an army of robots. This is the phenomenal power of the Unity Asset Store.